And that's to ensure growing continuous use of the system. And so what I'll do is, you have a few slides, right?
Questions mostly.
Questions? Okay.
Questions that I've got small questions.
Okay. We're going to cover what we're calling Wix workshops, and this is something that we're rolling out. And it's like get in, get out real quick to help you sell, to help you operate. So that's something that will be also part of this content. So should I hand it over to you for this? Okay, I'm going to hand this to Ethan. He's going to introduce himself, and then we'll get the experts' opinions.
So I just want to contextualize, hear from you guys, but in particular, I see the account manager role as matching up strategic visions, what you guys have determined you want to do, what you want to see your clinic go, with tactical execution. So I saw Dr. Lehman's awesome presentation. I know that I want to start putting liners. The missing piece there is what do I specifically need to do in my clinic tomorrow to start down the pathway. And I want to try and really connect those dots. So for this session, I really want to try and be tactical and talk a little bit about the interviews in the clinic. So I'll start closest to me, Dr. Lehman. What's the best revenue stream to introduce first for the LuxCreo clinic? Where would you start?
As an orthodontist, I would start. As an orthodontist, I would start at aligners because there's a huge demand in my clinic for that. As a dentist, I'd probably start with splints because of the fit and feel of them. That's a great place to pick up. When you make a workflow easier for an end user, they will lean into that a little bit more. Maybe splints are annoying, maybe there's a lot of adjustments, maybe they don't fit as well from the lab, so the patient might need a splint, but maybe you delay. Maybe you shouldn't, that's a whole separate conversation. But when something for the patient is made easier for you, you feel more confident doing that. So those are probably the two places I would start with something like this.
We're recording this, so maybe first a lot. We let people alive all over the world. They may not do this.
Excellent. Okay. I'm Eric Schoening. I'm a GP downtown Chicago. For me, this is why I bought the system, exactly what you said, is for splints, because there is an annoyance to working with a lab-made splint. They don't always fit. They don't fit the patient from all the way into that. I mean, nobody likes to pay for parking in downtown Chicago. They have to come back a week later. And they wanted that right away. So that was, number one, that was the first thing that I jumped into. I think you could pay for the machine just with that. Probably within a year, we see 20 patients a day. We're doing a sprint or two every single day. On top of what I think is the easiest low-hanging fruit for a GP is those 20 to 25-year-old patients coming in with these fixed routines that need to come off. And that is some of the dentistry that I read. And they love it. Patients love that. So that for me was 95%, almost 100% of what I do with my machine, and totally automated by my team. They can do 100% of it. So it takes away the anxiety of delivering things that don't fit. And if you know you've got a patient who's gonna come in and question the fit, then you made them a loose one, you made them a tight one, and you made a medium one, and it took you an extra 5 minutes, 10 minutes to do those designs, and you slowed them onto the tray. And then you look like your Nordstrom. People came in and they got to try it. It was interactive, and so for me, that's where a GP can easily make your day easier, the experience better for the patient, and they're going to go home and really buy it. You'll probably get their husband, wife, their friend, things like that too for the exact same service.
Anthony Portis, Southern California. I'm the GP also. For me, the biggest advantage is the time involved. I've been treating a lot of relapse cases forever, and I have a very busy practice with a huge hygiene department, and we see a lot of adult with relapse cases. So before LuxCreo, it was taking me about a month and a half to get my aligners back. I was outsourcing. I'll tell you my digital workflow to create profit. My practice, I love dentistry, but I want to be very profitable. I'm sure all of you guys want to be profitable. So I had to figure out a way in my area to create a profit in this system because patients are demanding the message. It's out there in the market. So years ago, I found a way to create a digital workflow where I outsourced a lot of this to China. So I was getting my aligners fabricated in China for about $10 per unit. Great fitting. I was having it designed out inside the country overnight. I have this digital workflow where I import my case before I go home. In the morning, the treatment plan's back in my inbox, and it goes out to China. But the problem was the time. So when this product came out, it was a game changer for me because I can literally scan one day and deliver the next day or the next week. And the profit is even better than when I was doing China. It's the time frame. So that's the game changer. The other thing is the buzz about this product in my office. From technology, my staff knows how excited I am about this. Half of them are wearing the aligners. And I put them on a bonus plan. For those of you that have a lot of patients coming through the practice, every time my hygienist sells a case, it's $100 in their pocket. You know, so they love it. You know, think about all these things you can do for your office. So it's a huge advantage. You have to be in there and you have to talk to your staff. You have to create an incredible staff that's on board. That's my whole philosophy behind my approach to this.
Where do you guys find the time? So how do you add some new innovation to your clinic or try a new revenue stream or something you want to bring while you're already managing a hectic clinic that's already full of patients?
Dina, Carolyn, and Julie.
5:30 in the morning.
I have a 4-day-a-week practice, Monday through Thursday. So Fridays are pretty much print days. I don't do any treatment planning. I still outsource my treatment plans out, so I don't even worry about that. But I'm not doing complex cases. I'm not an orthodontist, and I'm not doing visualizations, none of these things. I want to keep it simple and profitable. So I don't wake up at 5:30 in the morning or not sleep like. I have it streamlined. I have a whole digital workflow in my computer where I streamline it that when I leave my office, things are out, and all the digital cases are out. And then Fridays we just print all day. So that's my whole concept behind the time frame.
That's an interesting point that you brought up about your digital workflow. I think Dr. Neal was used the term the rhythm, and I think it's a really good. I think it can really help in time control to find a rhythm for printing or fitting it into your schedule so that you're not having to interrupt your workday to stop and change the printer or do something over. So having your practice line.
I find the same thing. Those 5:30 mornings are less and less now that you have that rhythm. And it's the kind of thing print's going to take an hour. Well, a common practice is going to take me that long. So when I'm done, I go, do something in the wash unit. But it just becomes the rhythm of the day. Exactly. So it doesn't really take me that much longer. It seems like it takes a long time as an upper PBS and a lower PBS and if I were to cleaning the patient up, but that takes a while. That's annoying. But this is well spent.
When you're selling the chair side, what's the messaging that you would focus on for your patients? You would have them do a line of treatment with LuxCreo to go with this point.
That's kind of why they came to me. So yeah, we have a consult room, we take records, they come in, we address their chief complaints, we talk to them about efficiency of care, we talk about engagement of the trays themselves. Number one, the scariest thing that I hear from day to day is, "Hey Doc, I trust you." Oh. It's frightening. And I hope I never forget that is frightening. And there's a healthy respect for those words. So, just helping them understand their issue and how we can help them with their issue, move the ball forward, not backwards.
I think it's easy to get people amped up over no impressions. I and as soon as you say no impressions, people are like, tell me more. And then you say 3D printed, we do it right here. And just people get so interested, and you hand them one and it's smooth, and they look at how much nicer that is than the one they had 10 years ago, or they're comparing it to the one that's in their pocket that is still from 10 years ago. So it's easy. You literally, it's the way mine is sold to me. When I bought the unit, it's clean, it fits well, it's shiny, and you just show people that, and they want to buy it. And it's the truth. It's not like you're selling them something that's not the truth. I mean, it's just, it looks better, fits better, it's smoother, it's all these things. And people want that. They get amped up over that.
For me and my staff, it's the scanner that sells the case. So we scan every patient. When you blow up that, image on the screen, and let's say it's just one tooth that's out of alignment, but you blow it up in front of the patient, and they've got braces before, you show them, Mrs. Jones, your teeth are moving, you're starting to relapse. We have this simple solution. And I tell them it's not expensive. First thing they say is, I heard Invisalign $6,000. So we tell them we have a system in our house, and we have a branded product, like you guys are aware of. We have our own brand. We have our own brand of aligners that's half the cost, and we can move the teeth back into place in 6 months or less. So the scan in that image, I think you should scan every new patient, and your hygienist should be able to scan these patients, because it's a huge sale, honestly. And if they're needing a night guard, we show them the way the teeth are wearing out, and you tell them the same thing. We have a simple solution that we can get you an inexpensive night guard right away. So it's a scanner in our practice sells the kids. I use Medit, actually. I use Medit because it's an open system, completely open. And the other nice thing, I'm not selling Medit, it has an AI night guard approach where you click the AI for your night guard, and in 30 seconds, it's designed for you for free. And the STL file goes out to Lux, and it's done. So it's a really nice system.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of discussion about Meta versus iTero. Glidewell trains on Meta, but iTero is just such a shitty product. And the exact way that my team is trained to do this is they'll do the scan, and then they pull up just the mandibular arch, they pull it down just so you can see just the anterior teeth, and then they walk out. And the patient sits there and they stare at that. And I'll do the same thing. I'll take an intraoral photo of all the those up on the lower, and I'll say, put it on, and I'll walk out of the room. And you give them like a minute just to stare at that photo, and they sell themselves. We have a lot of patients who don't speak English as a first language. I don't have to explain anything to them. They already get it just by seeing it. And in 10 seconds, you can show them how to use your iTero, or probably your Medic, just to kind of stroll around and look at themselves. You come in and they're like, how soon can I have my retainer? I didn't even mention a retainer yet. So, yeah, it's all about that. Yeah.
A picture says, what's the saying? A picture tells 1,000 words or says 1,000 words. That's amazing.
I think better they can smell the picture when you put it up.
Oh my gosh. Well, one of the things I wanted to say about Eric's, I visited his practice, and how you walk the patient through the process, where the LuxCreo or the fastprint.io in your case, where it's set up, you have to see it when it comes through. It is a focal point, and then you bring them through from scan to design. This is where it's going to be printed, and the patient is on that journey with you. I thought that was amazing to get invested into it.
How do you ensure that your staff can deliver on these workflows and that you feel confident keeping your hands off? That what's going to the patient is what you want?
Yeah, we have, so for splints and aligners, I'll make something for the case, I'll make something for that system. I bring them through the whole process themselves, so they know the fit, the feel, the flow, they understand it from soup to nuts, everything that's going to happen right there. And then, so one, they have an understanding of what they're helping a patient experience. Two, we also go through that very technically, so they all understand the technical pieces through training on what's happening. So at any point in the conversation, we quiz them on it, so we feel comfortable that the patient asks a question when I'm not there or when I'm not doing it, I know that the information that's being communicated is very clear.
For the design, printing, polishing portion, I like to do little contests in my office, and so I just printed out a couple dozen of just throw away aligners and just gave everybody in my office, all three of them, everybody got a couple, and they got to go into their room and polish and do that, and then I didn't know who was going to whoever's at the nicest was at free lunch. So it wasn't much, but it was still enough that they're like, they wanted to do it, they wanted to do it right, because there was, a lunch on the line. We used a little $5 contest throughout the day all the time, but that's how we did it, just to kind of get the staff on board and initially trained. And then anytime there's a new software rollout, we do almost like an in-house luncheon where we buy lunch and everybody sits around as we do the new software. But it's just like any other system, they've got to watch you do it, and I personally think you as the dentist have to master it first before you can hand it off to them, because they're going to come to you with all kinds of problems. They're going to say, oh, I already figured that one out. And instead of leaving it to them, because your team is not going to figure out solutions. It's on you to figure out the solutions. And that's what some of the 530 meetings were.
The design and the export to the print is all done by myself. The cleaning and the curing is done by one designated individual in the office that I train. So basically, just one individual, and just set them down. How do you move it from the printer to the wash, cure, and what do you do to polish it? So our polishing is super quick. We just use a stone compared with the floor with those little nightmare with those little buffer wheels and all of that. So it doesn't take that much to train the staff. Now, if you want to get to the point where I think they're going to export the treatment plan and all of that, which I think that's the doctor's responsibility, that might get a little tricky. But I just sit down with one staff member and take them through the whole system, and it becomes a free flowing part of the business.
Most of our staff are younger than us. Like my top IT person is 5 years old and he lives in Denver. He's my nephew. So anytime I have a problem, he fixes stuff. So I think pretty quick your staff is going to be showing you how to use this stuff if you get it out of them.
So I'll talk super briefly about our clinic success workshops. This is something that LuxCreo does, and it's designed to be short and to have you walk away ready to start printing something in your office. So what I do is, I'll talk a bit about why first. So LuxCreo and our partners are dedicated to clinic success, not just selling printers, like Michael had highlighted. And specifically, I wanted to have a way that you could get training on the print process, understand why it's important, understand how you're going to sell it to your patients, and get a live print done in as short amount of time as possible. So when we're doing a workshop, we'll figure out which one's right for your clinic. I'll send you Lux Academy, or whoever will send you Lux Academy so you can go through some training. You guys have seen some of that website throughout this weekend before. And then I ask for a scan. And then during our workshop, we'll start off by quickly going through the print process so that we can get your aligner or whatever we're working on starting to print. We'll go back more thoroughly through the process so you can understand the ins and outs of using the software, of the print process, of the digital polishing. We'll talk a little bit about the value of the appliances in the resin, and specifically how you and your techs can articulate that to patients, how we convert more chairside. And then by the time we're done, it's ready to come off the printer. I'll walk you through a live digital polishing, which doesn't take too long, and then we'll walk away with a fully trained team in about an hour and a half. We'll have some aligners that they've printed. And then after that, I follow up to make sure that you have what you need. When we're doing these workshops, they really sound pie in the sky, I guess, but we try and keep the numbers realistic. And some of them are based on the conversations we've had with our KOLs and with the doctors we work with. So just as an example, getting started with relapse cases. If that's something you're like, I don't know where I should go first, or maybe I'm already printing what I designed to get started with. But if you're doing 2 relapse cases a week, just adding that to your workflow from a printing perspective, that's 2 to 4 hours of print. It's not a big ask. I'm not asking anybody taking a third of their clinic's time to printing all of a sudden. But at the same time, there's a big ROI Same thing, our training talked about splints, and the splints are getting faster to triple line, so I can do that workshop in an hour. And we can have you ready to start printing cases. If we do a workshop in the morning, you can start selling cases in the afternoon. And that's really where we're kind of focused. There will be more of these, and I welcome insight. If people are saying, I want to be able to offer dentures, but great, I might take a minute, but let me put together a workshop that's going to walk through dentures and what we can do with dentures. You say, like, we want to do sleep apnea, okay, well then great, let's start looking at the sleep devices and figuring out what you need in your office to make it work, and let's help you find that road. Any questions? Or anything else that you would want to highlight?
I've got the next phase of this. Yeah, absolutely. We're done with that. We're on that.
Another feedback is make sure you have enough batteries for your microphones. We've been very good at sharing here, so that's great. So you are now part of the panel, all of you. Dr. Diaz, yeah. So I'm going to ask you a question, and then we're going to get this going back and forth because I really love the insight. Like, leaving the room for a minute. There's your mouth, like zoomed in. I love this. I'm learning. I'm learning a lot. So this is great. So I had a really fun Teams call with Dr. Diaz, and he's like, I like this. I love this. I want to do more. What else can I do? I was like this, and I'm like, damn, I'm not recording this video. And it's so enthusiastic. So I think to build on that enthusiasm, I think everyone here has done some spectacular things with their clinic and their business. Right? Some are multi-site, some are growing single-site. There's two things that we're talking about here. One is selling an aligner system. It could be direct print or the aligner, or it could be something else. And the other is selling splints and how to make that. If it's not a significant part of your practice, how do you do that? And I think going through so many conferences and talking with so many doctors, everyone has a different approach. And share as much as you feel, but I've heard anything from pricing differentiation to like 3-year plan, like pay this, you buy in, now every time you need a new one, if you need a new one, you lose it, dog-gated. I bet we've heard a story about, sorry, it broke again, but it's actually dog-gated. If you need it again, you're not going to pay another $700 for it. So how do you make it easy for the patient to comply? It could be, it's all gunky, I don't want to wear that anymore, I want to have a fresh one. So I wanted to get perspective. If we're okay with this type of discussion, I think it would be beneficial to think about how can you bring splints, let's start with splints first. How do you bring splints to a point where if 10% of all of your patients that you see, you can convert to a splint where of the 100% that need it, only 10% are actually complying to buy and then complying to use. How do we position this in a way, because you can print it in clinic and it's not that difficult to do as we're hearing. What works best? And is it, I'm sure there's going to be different zip codes that works better in other zip codes, but I would like to spend the next 5-10 minutes talking about positioning splints that are printed in-house for the patients to grow your practice. Okay, so we've heard from the panel. Who would want to be on the other panel? We have another new panel here. Who would want to share their ideas on how they approach splints that works for them from panel number 2? Anybody? Is it too proprietary? What's that?
More specific and
Okay, so why don't we start on this side? So you sell splints, right? Okay. And you're asking what type of splint?
Yes. I know. Communication.
All right. So what kind of splints do you?
Could be like what we call the top splint.
Okay. So like if you have bruxism and not for apnea. Okay. So do you need more specifics? Okay.
So the type of splint, as you know, is by the design, and you just print the design, full coverage, anterior positioning, B-splint, anterior program, all of those are available and can be printed. Now, I think what what he's saying is he may be trying to take away the treatment planning component of it
Yes.
and leaving that where it should be, probably with us.
Yes.
But splints in general, making an electronic appliance for the patient using the system, what are some techniques we can help to further that penetration, that understanding, and future opportunities for the patient? So for instance, we do something where I give patients two. If it's an entry programming, entry positioning,
Full coverage, whatever it is. I just learned about a way of doing it top and bottom. I don't really do those, but Dr. Reardon was talking about that, and I love that idea. I just learned that the Medic has an AI. I use a Shining scanner. I'm going to have to look at the Medic because that's huge. And I'm using 3Shape Automate or CADFlow or Dashboard. I'm still trying to figure out which one I like. But leaving out that treatment planning part, the ability to make two for the patient so that if they break one, you don't have to worry about it. That's a nice value add. And saving the file, the STL file or whatever, in future use, just like we do with our retainer program, our Stunning Smiles program, where essentially it's an insurance policy. And so really we're asking as a revenue source using the insurance policy type model to help patients by using this digital workflow because we don't have to take impressions every time they come in. Does that help a little bit?
Yeah, what I'm saying is three things.
Yeah.
One is diagnosis, correct diagnosis.
Yes, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Then the knowledge, the strength are a little bit controversial, but basically, you're not just doing the job.
Just so-
Then you may say, well, I'm going to use this thing. So in my world, at least I'm on vendor, it's just a thing about to use this. They make amazing
Yeah.
specs. Or if it's a similar and it's made, it's just a flat screen, AI driven, it's free, and then you can use LuxCreo.
Yeah, I think we're agnostic on the design of it.
I'll clarify. So I think that would be a different panel discussion.
Yes.
Designing, diagnosis to design. We will mark it down. Tony, where are you? Please write down that we're going to do a diagnosis to design splint panel. But that's not today.
The nice thing about Meta, there's a menu when you go to do the AI. So you give you an option about 6 different types of designs. So it's really nice. You can do a flat plane, you can do a journey programmer, Michigan, you get to choose, which solves a lot of the problems.
Are you sold?
I'm
Yeah, exactly. So this is why you come to these events. Okay. There you go. Right. Okay. So that maybe we'll have that next time. So the point of this panel is after you get through diagnosis, design, how do you get them to buy? What are the friction points to buy, and then comply? Okay, so we're more on, is there an advantage of having it in-house printing? And can you open up new ways of presenting the value? Or like you're saying, insurance or a 3-year, you pay for this, you get 3 years, you get remakes for an X amount of dollars. Those types of things, because today is like, you can't tell, today is the finance day. We're talking about the unit level economics. Now it's like, how do you position, is it a bundle, is it a single appliance, and you just have to pay it again? I'd like to get people's viewpoint on that.
Well, for me, I think the biggest no that I get from patients is cost. It's always cost. So people are talking about their $750 splints. I've never sold a $750 splint. That's great. If you're in network, which most dentists are, I think, you're going to get about $300 is all you're going to get for a splint. For me, I think the biggest conversion is when people come in and they say, I hate my old night guard, I never wore it. That's a question we often ask, do you have a routine or do you have a night guard? And it just seems like a benign question, but we're searching for the people who don't like theirs, but they've got the guilt that they should be wearing it, you know? And so you just ask them, what did you like about it? And almost always it's too big or it's too tight. Well, great, let's make you a really thin one that's loose. And when you start to talk about how it's customizable, they never knew they had options. And so that is, I think, 9 times out of 10, that's the conversion for the people who already have it and are already in a night guard. It's telling them that you can make them one that's smoother, thinner, more comfortable. And for the real hard sell patients, people who say, I don't know. I said, you know what? Let me design it for you. Come in tomorrow. We'll try it in. If you hate it, have a great day. If you like it, pay for it, take it away. And after a month, if you hate it, bring it back. I'll give you your money back. I've never had anybody return one after that's kind of on them. I'm sure there's people who don't wear them, but that's on them to bring it back. But that is the kind of thing where I stand by LuxCreo and my design and this product. I also give a 6-month warranty. These break. I should come up with the 150 cost to replace, or 100 or something. That's a great idea too, because that's just another selling point for patients, where they can say, oh, well, I lost my life. I don't want to pay $300 or $450 or $750 for another one, because we all know it's $5.
So, being in a really busy restorative practice, you get a lot of patients with broken teeth. Anytime a patient comes in with a broken cuff, something, they're going to get a night guard. You know, we tell them, look, you have all these restorations. You want to prevent these problems, we're going to make a night guard. Anybody that's had any implants done, it's mandatory to get a night guard. Anybody that's had any cosmetic work, veneers, they're going to get a night guard. So that's our main approach, and we don't charge like $750. You know, we're in that same ballpark. You know, $300 for a night card. So I'm not, you know, I would say you make a couple of these a week. It's very profitable. On top of the relapse cases, it's a big profit margin for us. So it's the way you approach the patient. You know, a lot of practitioners, unfortunately, they go in, they prep up around, they don't talk to the patient, they're gone, and you know they're losing a lot of other aspects of revenue in their practice. So that's one approach.
You get a lot of opportunities too, where you do a new crown and they need a new retainer.
Right.
Oops. And same thing, yeah. This kind of thing happens all the time, and I find my patients are almost happy to get a new one. So like, oh, a new tooth, new night guard, new me. So
One thing I'll say.
You don't have to come back to me.
It'll come to you. It's come back. Okay,
And I'm
so
the patient, they
Oh, yeah, that's right, that's right.
The dentist
Patient-
can actually do it.
But the microphone
Okay. So the other thing that it would, because we are, all of our customers, meaning doctors, are partners. Eric, since you're right here, you got to do something that we haven't told you about, and it is a 1-hour workflow for a slit. So, have you done a 1-hour workflow yet?
I just got examples of it, but I haven't done it.
Okay, so the 1-hour workflow is the entire workflow in 1 hour. So as a dentist, if you're milling a crown and it's 35 minutes to mill a crown with 5 wells mill, and then you're installing it, and then you're putting the splint at the same time, you're done, and then you give them the splint. So I don't even know what Eric's going to say about this, but this is beta. So any doctor can become a beta tester of our latest and greatest things. This is to answer the call of single visit dentistry. You do not, you're done. Like they're there, and you give them a splint, they're out the door. And so maybe you can tell, does that help sell, or does that?
I think absolutely. I as a user, I don't know what happens behind the scenes here, but I've got to assume that LuxCreo's initial mission was to make digitally polished, kind of like no matter how long it's up. And so you probably created your process and found it took an hour and a half or so. And then you start to say, okay, well, what about version 2? What can we do? And I'm sure you went to a think tank and said, what do dentists want? They want it faster, they want easier, they want all these things. And so as you bring the time down, that digital polish, you might lose that. So on the 28-minute print cycle, that is kind of a cloudy night guard, but it's instant. And so the way I'm going to use that is for people who need a night guard today, that's your immediate night guard. It's like an immediate denture for people who know immediate dentures. That's yours today, and then you'll trade it in a couple of days when you come in for your digitally polished one. So it's the same, you're uploading the same files, all the time-consuming steps you've already completed. You're just reprinting that and first thing in the morning and the day with another batch to give it to them later. But I see a lot of value in that. So maybe you're making them 2 guards, but they're changing one back too. Long term, I do want to see how the 28-minute print holds up from a discoloration standpoint and things like that. But otherwise, it's a very comfortable. We did one the other day because I forgot to make somebody a guard. And I looked about an hour before, and well, thank God they just opened up that 1-hour workflow for me, and it turned out great.
Really?
Oh, the fit was perfect. Yeah, the fit was absolutely perfect.
In terms of total addressable market, has any of you guys tried sport guards for athletes, for the local schools, and/or the migraine headache, tension headache market for like NTIs type appliances?
So have you touched the sports card?
Not sports cars.
Well, I'll just say something on the sports card. So Keystone has a sports card material. And so we have some customers doing that, but it's still in beta. Yeah, there's a balance between convenience and the ability to transition.
What about the headache market?
Yeah, that is, I use, I don't use NCIs, I use a D-Spine, in the Boston study club courses. It's an anterior program that shuts down the masseters and can really help with those occlusal muscular disorders that patients experience. So I've done a number of those and I've had no issues with it. So,
In terms of large restorative cosmetic cases, we're doing full mouth reconstruction, crowns and whatnot. Have any of you tried to deprogram using like the composite ball technique that David Hornberg, for instance, recommends to open up the bite before you restore?
I use an anterior deprogrammer right attached to the, essentially incisor composite to get them back balanced. And that's through Medit. It's free, I spit it out into LuxCreo, and then I'll adjust it in the mouth, and you have some composite to, manipulate the body.
So, hey, I don't want to get off topic here, but I've got a big case coming up as well. Where I'm doing 28 units on a patient. I have to deprogram them, and I'm going to open up their bite. So clinically, when you do that, you get that anterior deprogrammer printed first, and then you take your records based on that, and then you have the bite open up for that.
Yeah, for a while, make sure they're comfortable before I go to the final.
Awesome.
Do you have our system?
No, I'm looking into it.
Better order it right now, so we can keep going. Yeah, if that's, help that patient. God, I just put my sales cap on.
Kevin's done a good job for you that already.
Who can, I'm sure there's some people that can help you. That's good, that's good, we will help you. Yeah, if you want that one right behind you. Okay, question? Yeah, you Eric's got one for sale. Oh my gosh. Okay. So any other questions from panel number 2?
I had another question.
Wow. Okay.
I couldn't make dinner last night because I did an all-on-4 case on a patient that I had to go see last night. And I was just told that you guys are possibly getting into the full arch market where you can create the PMMA type teeth to retrofit to the implants I placed during surgery. Is that something you guys are looking into?
Our resident partners up here. Yeah. Yes. It's not us, but it's.
It works on theirs. I use their version.
Yeah, Mike can tell you about it.
I did it 2 washes today.
Yeah. That question is perfect to talk about our material ecosystem and one thing. Because I'll give you some insight. One thing on that, and because this is economics. Like I'm going to try to weave it into an economic story, but it's back to one place. What it is all on X. Very strange designs. Where's Mark? Mark. Michael, who works with Voxel, Michael sent us a bunch of weird designs on All on X, like the strangest designs. Very strange. It was very strange ones, and nobody had ever made a one-click auto order support automatic orientation. I think we pulled that together in a month, 2 months. Something like that, and we just a one click. So yeah, we have the process. So if you guys have a new appliance, just give us the wackiest designs. If that's something I say yes to, then we will put the resources in, and it's days for us to make a new appliance work. If we get the resin and all the weirdest designs are a part of that project. That was nothing to do with this topic, but okay. If there are no other, it's a great question, and that's what we're here for, to answer and learn about new scanners and resources. So okay, so do we have anything else? Because lunch I know is there, we probably smell it. Any other questions on this panel? Anything else? Okay, yep,
One thing.
yeah.
We have to leave after lunch for a place, but I want to tell you personally what I'm taking home as a partner. I'm taking home the passion and the drive that's in this room for the last 2 days. You are so passionate, all of you, about what you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honestly, the passion is everywhere, right? You guys, doctors, it all starts with the doctor.